Texas, we are well aware that the summers get hot and the air gets humid, making it feel even warmer. But there are some places here in the Piney Woods that not only deal with the heat outdoors, but the heat inside too. Starting right here at Great Harvest Bread Company, where even when the sun isn't up yet, the temperature inside is already rising.
We start at 4 in the morning. Bread starts coming out of the oven by about 9:30, 9 o'clock. This bakery is always a little warm. We are a natural proof box, so we keep our bakery really hot.
But that's just the start. Owner Laura Jones says that through most of the day, they bake hundreds of loaves of bread at very high temperatures.
Our bread is in the oven at about 350 degrees for about an hour for each batch of bread. So that could run, again, hours and hours of running an oven at 350 degrees.
And while the heat and humidity might be some of our least favorite parts of Texas summers, our bread wouldn't be the same without it.
So heat is a huge part of just bread baking. It's a part of the rise. Heat and humidity is what helps bread kind of get lighter and rise. So depending the type of bread you're looking at, you might be going for a really hard crust or soft crust, and the temperature of the heat is what affects that.
Great Harvest isn't the only business using temperatures to cook up something cool. A new spot in East Texas is already heating up, and I mean that literally. At Rosie Posey Pottery, you pick your pottery, paints, and then let the thermodynamics do the rest.
So we will fire and glaze, so we'll dip it in like a blue glaze and then let it dry and then stick it in the kiln.
That's right. Painting on your glaze might make your pottery look a little bit dull, but when you put it in the kiln and take it out after firing it at extremely high temperatures, it activates the color and the glaze. That's a chemical reaction between the glaze, paints, and the temperature. And even though it gets hot in East Texas, our hottest triple-digit summer days, we need to be over 15 times hotter in order to beat the heat of the kiln.
The kiln gets up to about 1,800 degrees, which is really, really hot.
So hot that in order for them to fire the pottery, co-owner Sydney Ellen Tuning says they have to close their business those days so customers are comfortable. Two examples of places that bring that summer warmth to East Texas, no matter the season.
The official start of summer, it's just a couple of weeks away, but what kind of summer will we see? Will it be as hot as last year? We're going to use something called the long-range cycling weather pattern theory to determine what kind of summer we'll have here. We know the weather pattern is cycling and it developed last fall. We also know that this year's cycle takes about 6 to 7 weeks to complete, and this will help identify when summer thunderstorms and hurricanes will occur. Of course, one of the driving forces behind this year's summer forecast will be La Nina. It is forecasted, and that means that we will see cooler than normal waters in the Pacific Ocean. It also means the Atlantic will be warmer than normal, and that means we could have a very active hurricane season. In fact, the national hurricane forecasts are calling for above average named storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes. And temperatures should also come out above average over much of East Texas and well above average over the desert Southwest. How about rainfall? We're looking at maybe close to average or slightly above average rainfall here in East Texas. And what about some of the holidays this summer? Well, that's where we use the long-range cycling weather pattern theory to figure out what it will be like, for instance, on Father's Day. And right now, that part of the pattern repeats with a very breezy and warm setup. For Independence Day here in East Texas, talk about hotter than a firecracker. Partly sunny, 98 at 5 p.m., mostly clear for most of those fireworks the night of Independence Day on July 4th. All right, so to recap everything, this summer forecast, we are looking at slightly above average temperatures, above average rainfall, and we'll credit the transition to La Nina for both of those results. The middle of July will be cooler than usual, related to a similar pattern we saw in January. And the Gulf of Mexico could become a hot spot for tropical storm development. Make sure you are following us at CBS19.tv for the latest on our summer forecast.